Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. The one and only Calvin Ford, trainer for a guy that I believe to be the biggest box office attraction in the sport of boxing right now, the one and only Gervonta Davis. Calvin Ford, his trainer, is on the line with me right now. What's going on, big time? How are you, man? How does it feel, to be the guy in the corner for Gervonta Davis these days?
It's just another regular day at work, man. That's all we treat it as is work, going to take care of business. When the contract rolls past our desks, it's a hit.
I'm looking at Gervonta Davis, and I got to confess to you, Calvin. I mean, listen, I've always liked him. I always knew. Listen, they called him a mini Mike as a mini Mike Tyson for a reason. We know that his lights out with him. He's gonna put you to sleep, no doubt about it. But I'm gonna confess to you when I really, really saw what I'm seeing now. I always thought of him as a puncher, but when he fought Isaac Cruz, he was 25-0, and he fought that little dude, that little pit bull coming at him all the time. And I mean, the movement, the boxing skills, that to me was the moment that Gervonta Davis hit the scene. And I said, yo, this is one of the best fighters in the world. When did you know he was one of the best fighters in the world?
When he told me to believe in him. And that's still here in my head today. Not as Gervonta Davis as a grown man, as a kid. We was going through our trials and tribulations and whatnot. He understand what I was going through to get him where he's trying to go at, where he's at today. He just said believe. And one of the main things that Mayor O'Malley put up throughout the Baltimore City had a black background. And the word was written, believe in white. And when he said that to me, man, it just believe in him. And ever since, I've just been believing. And now we at this pinnacle of our life is we're in his car now. He's doing the driving now. So I'm just waiting to look at the sights.
When you look at him right now, what is it about him that makes him so special at this moment in time when we see some of the great fighters out there? We were talking about Terrence Crawford. We've been talking about Canelo Alvarez. We've been talking a lot about David Benavidez, who was in the undercard leading into the main event this past Saturday night when Gervonta Davis fought and ultimately knocked out Frank Martin. We've seen some of the great fighters. What is it about Gervonta Davis that makes him special in your eyes compared to any other fighter out there in terms of what he's bringing to the table?
He's special. He's special at that weight, that size. And he have a real calling. It's for the youth of the USA to let them know whatever you go through in life, you're going to go through. It's just how you finish it up. And that was one of the things that I instilled in him. Is everybody going to have rocky roads starting off. It's how you finish. And he take that to heart. It's how he put on a performance and how he's going to finish.
I watched him, and one of the things that impressed me, and I remember in the press conference promoting the fight, because you had spoken at the same press conference as well, and it's little stuff, doing what I do for a living. You pick up on little nuggets of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When I covered basketball, I used to have to sit courtside. So cats used to walk right by me entering a game because I was at the scorer's table. So I could see them. I could look in their eyes. I could see it, And then I'm looking at boxing, and I'm looking at a guy like Gervonta Davis, and I said, wait a minute, y'all. He looked at Frank Martin during the press conference and he said, you really, really should have waited. You really, really should have waited. He said, you're not ready yet. You good, but you're not ready yet. And I said, you hear a lot of fighters talking, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to knock you out. Sure, Gervonta going to say that too. But he was saying to the kid, you a kid compared to me. You're not ready. What was it? I mean, is that him with every fight? Or did he see something different from Frank Martin going into this fight?
He understands he's coming into his awakeness of becoming who he's supposed to become. Canelo, Floyd, Tyson, all the great ones speaks about him. We wouldn't be here if not the work that he was saying. And Martin, he squeezed into the big four. It's like Pitbull. He was how would you say, a guy was a fill-in. And he went the distance with Tank and whatnot. And that's how Pitbull came famous, Rolly kept running his mouth. So now you getting this narrative that everybody said, well, I'm a talk about I beat him up in spawn. Get what I'm saying? So that's the new thing they talk about in spawn. Spawn is spawn. But when you get under them lights
Yeah.
and you get under them lights, it's a different beast.
I said, Frank Martin, I don't give a damn what you did in sparring. I mean, who cares? You know, sparring is when you try stuff out. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're the trainer, not me, Cal. I mean, you're supposed to try stuff. You experimenting in sparring.
Yeah.
But you could I saw Javante, and Javante was like, you lying. What do you mean you buckled my knees? What do you mean you lying? And then I'm telling folks, he walked out in opening round, walked right to him, and was like, stagger me now. Buckle my knees now. Am I lying? Am I lying when I say that?
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I sit there and say this. I used to get on Tank a lot when he was little. When he was little, his friends used to call him when they got into some trouble and whatnot. And instead of they fighting their battles, Tank used to do it. And he used to walk up on jokers and hit them right in their mouth. You don't see no little kid doing that.
Oh.
So when I see Tank getting up, he'll get up in the middle of in the morning and say, yo, let's go spawn. I ain't nowhere around. He'll just go with his day in and day in guys and go spawn. No, nothing. Go right into somebody's gym and say, y'all want to work. You know what I'm saying? So when that happens, I know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? That's his peace moment. You know, he want to get in that ring and just be at peace and get stuff off his shoulders. So when guys be hollering, oh yeah, I spawned, the first thing I asked, was I there? You know? They say, no, Coach Calvin here, because when I'm there, the same results happen. That's like when he sparred in Floyd's gym, just getting off the plane, not in shape, and was getting in that work. You know, so when I sit there and say that it's a difference, when he step in that ring for a real fight, we see what's happening. Only two guys, one guy that Tank didn't eat the right food like I told him. And he was the first guy that missed it. But the rest of them, he been laying them out. And I don't train him for knockouts. I do not like knockouts because the first thing they say was an easy shot. It was a lucky shot. I like punishing him. And when he punishing the Joker, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like for him to get hit, you know. But it's something about that at that fight, man. I'm going to tell you, if you go back and really watch that fight, Martin hit him dead in his face.
Which fight you talking about? You talking about Frank Martin? You talking about the Frank Martin fight?
Yeah, the Frank Martin fight. Listen to what I'm saying. I looked at Tank. I looked at Tank in his face. And you know how you can see the words of somebody typing the words out of his mouth? And Tank looked at him at a moment. I call it it's a point in the fight where you have dead spots. And he looked at him, looked right in his face and said, yo, hit me in my face. And Martin, through that left hand, hit him right in his eye. Blam! He didn't even buckle. And it seemed like I seen the words coming from his head saying, "That's all you got." And man, he started opening up on him, and Martin pushed that button, and that was the button. So you know, when I see anybody that pushed that button there, I feel sorry for them because they don't know what they're gonna get.
Well, I think you're absolutely right at the lightweight division because at 135, Tank just seems powerful. He's just too gifted, too strong, too powerful. You're almost asking him to move up in weight just to spare people, for crying out loud. But I know Shakur Stevenson is asking for some of it. I know that. And people talk about Lomachenko or whatever. To me personally, I want to see him fight a Garcia again. I want to see him fight a Teofimo Lopez, somebody like that that's got some power, somebody that has the potential to inflict some pain upon him, because I don't know if anybody can do it. And I've totally lost it with Devin Haney. After what I saw Ryan Garcia do to him, even though Ryan Garcia was a bit bulked up, the bottom line is Devin Haney took a beating, and imagine what Tank would do.
Well, all of them already know. To tell you the truth, they just want to get the paycheck. You know, I'm like this. If the contract come past your desk, don't worry about the money. If you say you can beat them, just take whatever. And I say that because I remember when Paul Williams fought Margarita and Paul was training at my gym. His coach brought him past there to get some work. And I said, Paul, if you really want that fight, you really know you can beat him, ask me. I only want a little bit of money. Just give me the fight. Bam.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his training, that's like a father figure to him. You're training him all the time. You know him. Both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need
You
names.
already know. We went down to, we working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
When you see Gervonta Davis, he's fighting in the 130s now, 135, obviously lightweight, go up to 140. Any possibility he's going to go up to a 147 someday in the near future? Anything like that? Is that possible?
Time would tell. I'm looking at how he's weighing in there. You get what I'm saying? And I'm taking a page out of Marvin Hagler. He ruled his weight class for so many years. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel as though,
Right.
and we feel as though we don't have to go up there, what's the point? They come to us. They know what time it is. You want them big dollars, you got to come see Tank.
I agree with you. I just don't know if there's any. Listen, Gervonta's the draw. No question about it. I personally believe he should be the biggest draw in boxing right now because the brother delivers. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. He shows up in the ring and he handles his business. I got to give credit and props where it's due. My question is, I don't know if there's anybody that's worthy of being in the ring with him in his weight class to make that big of a fight at this point. That's my concern. Not him, the competition.
He went up to 140. He won that fight with Tank because he was very happy with it. Like I keep telling Shakur, he gonna get what he asking for. It's just, do they want to take the money that's being offered for him? You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta wait and see, man. Like I always sit there and say, the here's the bees that put the money up first before the fight happens. You know what I'm saying? They got to make sure the numbers make sense. And a lot of their numbers ain't what it is to our numbers. So they have to make sense because they ask for some crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? And they not putting the asses in the seat.
What does it take to be a great trainer in boxing in this day and age?
Oh man, it's different, man. I call these kids now microwave babies. But if you got an old school coach that believe old school, and the kid is willing to buy into the system, because that's the most important thing, is buying into the system of what they're preaching, what they're delivering, and actually put more work in than the coach, you can get another great fighter come from anywhere.
How do we know when a fight takes place and it's the boxer as opposed to the trainer or vice versa? I asked that question. Derrick James, I got mad respect for him, but Errol Spence Jr. got beat real bad by Terrence Crawford, and obviously we saw what happened.
That was going to be a roller coaster, and that fight messed me up because I never thought it would happen like that. Two of the baddest fighters in the world at 147, man. They just looked at one-sided.
I was shell shocked. I never thought that Terrence Crawford would be able. I had Terrence Crawford winning that fight by decision. I never knew that it would be that lopsided, that he would outclass Errol Spence Jr. that bad. It was so bad, I didn't think that Errol Spence. I'm glad Errol Spence Jr. hasn't fought in the last year. I'm very happy about that. What about you?
Well, I wanted him. I said that in one of my podcasts. I said that and said Earl should take some time out, spend some time with his kid, enjoy life right now, and really evaluate his life as far as boxing. You get what I'm saying? Because of all the issues he's been going through as far as health, car accidents, and a lot of things he's been going through. So you really have to evaluate your body, and you know yourself better than anyone.
Right. Ideally, I know you would take on all comers or whatever. Your dream matchup, if you had one more fight left before you decided to retire, and you wanted Gervonta Davis against one opponent to end your career as a trainer, the last thing you want to see, the greatest thing you'd want to see for him, who would that fight be against?
Tank against Tank. That's the only person that's going to beat Tank. I'm just telling you. The only person
there's not another Tank out there, man.
The only person is going to be, it's a reason why Tank is here. I'm just that voice in his ear to know how to push them buttons. And we still ain't see greatness yet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talk about Shakur's a master boxer, but at the end of the day, what Tank do, he's setting everybody on notice. And I'm trying to give them the blueprint. Accept the money and see, can you beat them?
Accept the money and see, can you beat them? Well, my attitude
Yeah.
is this: if you know there's a good chance that you're gonna get your ass kicked, why not just take it? Why not just try to get as much money as you can so it'll be worth it once you get the ass kicked?
I agree with
That
you.
would be
I
my
agree with
thinking,
you.
Calvin.
I agree with you, but the heads look at the numbers. One thing I know about this business, they sit around the table and see what you have been bringing to the table in the past. And when you start asking for certain things, people on that side will sit there and say, nah, you ain't worthy of that.
You talk about Frank Martin, big mistake, push that button. Javante said, punch me in the face, hit me in the face. And he did it. Bow with the left, and he didn't even blink. I think the biggest mistake he made was in the fourth round, deciding that he was going to be on the ropes more. What the hell was he thinking going on the ropes against Tank Davis? I thought that was a
Well,
mistake.
if you watch some of his fights, he does it all the time. That's nothing new to Frank. But if, again, in the words of Floyd Mayweather, you can sit right there and tell a fighter what you're going to do and the coach what you're going to do. Can he stop it that night of the fight? I watch Pacquiao. Was it Pacquiao? Pacquiao did the same thing. Oh, I'm going to stop you from making that same move. You couldn't stop that move. So again,
Right.
it's when you get under them lights, man, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. When you get in that ring and stand across somebody, you should say, yo, the speed is different. The power is different. I can't hit him like I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting him, and it's not even phasing him.
Wow.
Only person that I see
Calvin,
gonna beat
Calvin,
Tank
man.
right now is Tank.
Okay. All right. I believe you. I don't see anybody in the lightweight division that's going to beat him. That's for sure. I don't see anybody at 140 that I think is going to beat him. That's for sure. So you got me there. Look, man, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for
So I
joining me.
appreciate
When we
you,
got a
man. You
better
the
signal
best
and
in
all
the
that stuff, I want to
business.
sit down. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks. I had to interview you, man. I couldn't wait to talk to you, man. Looking forward to talking to you in the near future. And I'm going to make sure
Me
I catch
too.
more of his fights in
Me
person.
too.
I appreciate it, man. No doubt.
Thank you, A.
All right, man.
Peace.